Welcome to Shamanic Guidance. We're going to do something interesting and different today, which is, this is a reading that's technically for me, because I believe that everything's about the self, everything's a reflection of the self, and whatever I'm experiencing, there are others that are experiencing the same thing. And why not create value out of me doing something for myself where it can touch other people as well. So let's flip my cards and your cards and let's see what we've got. So we've got Judgment, Eight of Swords, Six of Swords, Elder Turtle with Slow Down, the Warrior, Perfectionism and Burnout, You Embrace Change, Imram, Opening to Love, Magnified and Brought to Light, Prepare for Expansion in Heart and Mind, Community, and Song of Sangoma. So the first thing that I notice about this reading is that there are 4 cards here that are depicting images of, well, there are 3 of them. There's the boats, and then there's the turtle that's kind of like floating in the water. So there's this imagery in this reading around being in a little boat floating on the water. There's this image of being at sea, being open, being explorative, just allowing the current to kind of take you and not trying to control the process so much. I feel like there's resistance to change here due to kind of doing everything on your own and pushing yourself too hard, myself too hard. Not allowing in the support of community and other people. And I want to just bring up Jung's concept of individuation, and what he says about individuation is that we can't do it on our own. We are a communal being. We need others in order to evolve and to transform. We need to be with others and live real life and live with others in order to individuate. One does not individuate on the top of a mountain meditating by oneself, is basically the message. So I feel like there's a pattern that's being brought to the surface at this time, something that's coming up into consciousness with Judgment and Magnified and Brought to Light, where there is change required, where there's an old kind of belief system or methodology that is no longer serving, that is one that's actually not even real. Like the Eight of Swords is this complex that we think we're stuck in, but we're not actually even in it. So this is telling me like I'm actually, between Judgment, Eight of Swords, and Six of Swords, like you're already beyond whatever this is, or you've figured it out on some other way or in some other area of your life, and it's time to apply your wisdom, your knowledge to this particular complex and to free yourself from it, because you're not actually stuck in it. The Eight of Swords is really interesting from the Alice in Wonderland deck, because it's like there's this image of what I'm seeing is like a house of cards that's been destroyed, and then there's this image of Alice who's kind of stuck here, but she's not actually truly stuck. There's a belief that she is, but the fact that the house of cards has been destroyed, like my psyche's going, the house of cards is a psychological construct or belief system that had no grounding, had no roots, had no bearing, and it is just falling apart really easily because it's not real. And I think that, I feel positive, hopeful energy in this reading. Like the Six of Swords, it's kind of bringing in like the Star card energy, this energy, the Judgment even, we're moving into like the dawn is breaking. The sun is coming up, or the moon. But light is being shed on something. There's an old way that's being deconstructed in the light of something that's come up. So you might find yourself in a new situation, in a community, in a new workplace where things are done differently, And it's like, this is a reflection of inner change that you've already established within yourself that is now coming out in your reality, and you're walking into it going like, oh, this is different. I'm not really used to operating this way. And what I feel the operating system is, and what this is pointing to in me, is, like I said, a tendency to kind of do everything on your own, to not ask for help, to feel like everything's kind of on you, or that you can't find people who are like the right people, the real right people who are here to walk the journey with you. There's like, yeah, it's, you've walked into a situation, like for me personally, I'm in this new work environment where everything is like idyllic, but my old programming is kind of, it's like, not blocking me, but it's like I'm blocking myself from seeing how good things really are. And I've had this happen a few times where I've reflected on like, oh, this person's actually very nice. I don't know what I was thinking. Or like I wake up out of nervous system shut down and go, oh, like this is here. What was I feeling like isolated or alone or unresourced for? So my current workplace just keeps yielding like things that are there already that I just wasn't aware of, or I couldn't connect to because of old complexes, or just having trouble embracing the change. Like, yeah, you're in a new situation. The old programs don't work here. Really classic example is with a healthy relationship. You suddenly find yourself in a healthy connection and it feels strange and you're going, what's wrong? And it's like you just haven't experienced the peace and the clarity and the ease of this before. And it's like a little bit jarring to suddenly have something that's healthy because you're so used to this other way. So this reading is really showing this whole process of opening yourself up to within yourself a new way of operating, and you have a reality that's reflecting that, giving you a new just new experiences, new opportunities, new kinds of people. There's you being a little bit stuck, at least in your mind, feeling a little stuck, maybe some nervous system shut down there, and a little bit of resistance to change, and just having trouble opening up to community, opening up to help and support in some way. And this could be, like, I'm getting a deeper message now that this is around your connection to, like, you could call it spirit, but I'm going to call it life force energy, libido, as Jung would call it, which is like the resources, the inner resources of energy that we have to command in order to direct towards ourself and what we wish to invest our energy in. So if you haven't felt your life kind of supporting you before, like you've invested your energy in to a project and then haven't seen the results, or it hasn't yielded in the way that you want to, suddenly it's doing that and you're kind of confused and like kind of in a bit of disbelief. And there's just this process here that needs to happen where you allow yourself to exit that old reality and enter this new one. And what I just saw very clearly, like in a flash in my whatever, my inner vision, is of a sweat lodge. So I feel like if you have access to a sweat lodge, which I do, I'm very blessed too, that is the way that is that's really going to support you in kind of rebirthing yourself into this new way of being, into accepting this new way of being. Like, you're in a very big transition here out of a whole kind of old operating system that's based around scarcity and aloneness, and you're moving into, like, you're in the process of being open and just flowing into this new way, which is slowly kind of trickling into your awareness and into your life, and there's a little bit of resistance around allowing the change. Maybe there's a real desire to move very quickly forward, but with turtle, slow down, and perfectionism, burnout, Six of Swords, there's a process that has to happen here. So this is something to not rush yourself through. So with me, it's like I don't have to push myself to accept and believe that everything's going to be okay now. It's like, no, my nervous system actually needs to go through a period of time where it's allowed to just kind of drift and exist and trust the flow of life and be open to good things flowing my way. Because like when we have a lot of trauma or a lot of kind of overwhelming hard lessons, just things coming at us like over and over, we start to just shut down to the flow of life, because it's like, what the hell is going to come if I open the door? There's not really an expectation of, it's like an overwhelm. You could expect good things and you could expect bad things, and you could keep that door closed because you're just not ready for any more. Like there's like a freeze mechanism here that's like, I can't handle anything, good or bad. Like, don't bring me anything, universe. Just be stopped for a little bit. And I think like that's the voice of truth there that just spoke, that is this turtle medicine that's like, I just need to drift for a little bit. I just need to exist. I just need to be, and kind of just be in that, like, just allowing life to take me where it's going to take me without being so stressed about it. It's like softening into that allowing of kind of re-entering that state, because it's like, yeah, we have come out of this mode of bracing and like not allowing any flow and being worried about what's coming, good or bad. And there's this softening into this like floating gently on the sea vibes. Imram, if you look up that term, is really interesting. It's like the kind of almost like a nebulousness of just putting a little boat into the ocean, getting on it and just seeing what happens. Like ideally a calm ocean. Like my psyche is immediately like, the ocean is stormy and it's dark, but yeah, so it's just a reflection for me of like my state of overwhelm right now, which you can see in this reading, and your state of overwhelm if you're watching this. And so yeah, there's just a need to be soft with yourself and to be like, take things slowly, acknowledge the nervous system overwhelm, and do things to come down from that heightened state or that freeze. So I'm gonna read a bit of this interesting card, Song of Sangoma. There's a really interesting energy here that I feel is related to this like Imram energy of just floating and allowing, because Song of Sangoma is like about a medicine song. Receiving a medicine song in the shamanic tradition is interesting. It's like having healing songs or singing healing songs. And for me personally, and perhaps for you as well, this could be a prompt for me to go, and I know medicine songs, to go sing them or to listen to, like, there's really nice plant medicine songs from South America if you look on YouTube Music or whatever. Very like beautiful healing songs. So there's something here about the power of music to heal the nervous system. Now that I say that, I remember earlier I was on Instagram looking through, like, I follow positive, good kind of vibe stuff, and every now and then I'll get like something will just stick out in my psyche. And this morning what stuck out was the power of music to heal a nervous system, the power of song. So this could be like singing, using music therapy to get this flow going. I feel like that's the message here. That's what's resonating in my body right now. Overall, I feel like this is really pointing to a nervous system unwinding that needs to happen here. That's around, like I said, allowing in support in a bigger way. This could be like libidinal energy that wants to come in and be directed through us towards ourself and what we're trying to create in life, like allowing that source energy, so to speak, to come in, allowing the universe to come in and help us, whatever you want to call it, allowing the people to come in and support us, allowing money to come in. There's this opening up to being resourced, to being supported, that wants to happen here, that the stuckness in the nervous system, the freeze, whatever's going on, is kind of bringing resistance around. But there's this message of definitely like you can open up to this channel of energy, and what that looks like is this Imram, these images of the boats floating, the gentle boat floating on the water, and kind of overcoming a sense of overwhelm or shutdown to that flow state, to that process where we allow in things to come in and out of our life because we trust that we can handle whatever it is, and entering that flow state. And then we have that final message there around welcoming in music therapy, welcoming in song to go into that flow energy. I'm going to read part of the Song of Sangoma card because I feel like it sums up kind of the chaotic energy here, and it kind of makes me feel seen and understood. So I'm just going to read it. It says, "The Sangoma healer singers of Southern Africa receive initiation and training, the beginning of which is typically triggered by an extended period of suffering. The Sangoma refer to this troubled time as Eyamanzini, which translates as being in or underwater. During this time, the initiate learns how to navigate the spiritual realms and face the challenges inherent in such experiences. The oracle speaks of the hidden initiations that we encounter in our lives, dressed up as difficulties that catalyze soul growth. There is a temptation to become self-critical or judgmental of the world when we appear to encounter more obstacles than triumphs in our lives, and that's hitting right now. Yet at the appropriate moment, there will be a realization that what has unfolded was a spiritual preparation period, which perfectly equipped you for expansion into a greater sphere of expression. If you are working through a troublesome time, particularly if the issue is long-standing or one that feels like it is truly testing you at a deep level, the oracle speaks of your soul's ability to outgrow this phase in your life. Your future will not be bound by the struggles you are grappling with." So what I feel, and like what I feel for me for sure, is I feel like I get these initiations from life all the time, and it's like just going through these hardships in order to figure out how to go through them in a good way and to like overcome them. And I feel like I constantly get myself in these situations, and I very much have come to identify with Houdini, who like put himself into these like impossible to get out of kind of crazy traps, and then he would escape from them. And there's just this energy there of like the ability of us to overcome anything, to overpower, to adapt through whatever comes at us. And the fact is, you know, Houdini put himself in these situations like for fun. And you know, it's hard to have that perspective when you're in it and you're suffering, but I truly believe that like whatever hardships come into my life, I call them to myself in order to grow, in order to learn something. You know, I might have a desire to know because I help other people with my horse work. Like, okay, if someone gets traumatized, what do they do? If someone's nervous system shuts down, what do they do? And so I end up putting myself in situations where these things happen to me, and then I have to actually figure out what to do. And it's kind of funny, kind of not, and it's just never ending. So yeah, I kind of feel like this almost twisted like twisted humor, we'll call it the Heyoka kind of spirit coming in the contrary energy here, being like, yeah, you're in this pickle, what are you going to do? How are you going to get yourself out of it? And the answer here is very clear. It's like using the power of music, the power of song, singing, sacred songs, sacred ceremony, to go into this like Imram energy, the flow state of allowing the universe to bring in and bring out things where you're not kind of contriving and controlling that flow based in scarcity or whatever old kind of nervous system programming you have, but just being in that beautiful flow of trust and allowing, and whatever it is, you can handle it. That nervous system state of like, I can handle whatever this is. And again, really opening up to being supported and having the flow of energy that is supportive, having the libido, the life force energy directed to you and your intention in a good way, where you're not feeling thwarted or opposed by your life, but you're feeling like you're calling in the right resources, you're calling in the right supports, and you're allowing the doors of support to open, and you're allowing yourself to receive them. So this is all about being in that flow of allowing in, you know, whatever your soul is, your self energy is calling in, so that you can evolve and grow and transform, whatever that may be. Just being in that state of flow, knowing that everything is love, that everything is coming in order to support you in some way. Everything in life is coming in to help us, to make us who we want to be in our life, to become the self, the true, you know, to really embody that self energy. And so really embracing that flow of life. So that is the conclusion to this reading. Thank you for listening, and blessings on your journey.